Greetings, my friends, and welcome back to Mike Allen from Chicagoland. Still broadcasting from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, a very rainy Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, on this Wednesday afternoon here at the time of this recording. But the good news is that the town itself has a lot of indoor attractions. You know, it is a resort town after all, in the same vein as Branson, Missouri, or Wisconsin Dells, and plenty of things to do indoors. And one of those things that I've been really looking forward to doing is visiting Cooter's Garage Museum here in Pigeon Forge. It's a museum dedicated to the memory of my favorite childhood TV show, Dukes of Hazzard. Now, Cooter was the mechanic in the Dukes of Hazzard. He was played by actor Ben Jones. Now, Jones actually went on to serve 2 terms in Congress in the U.S. House of Representatives, representing Georgia from 1989 to 1993. So roughly about a decade or so after Dukes of Hazzard went off the air. But we're going to head inside and check this place out. I should also mention there is a location in Nashville as well, but we're going to check out the Pigeon Forge one while we're here. Can't wait to get inside and check out the memories that this brings back. So come and join me and let's get started. So unfortunately, it looks like they got the General Lee covered, but Cooter's Museum here is in a pretty nondescript strip mall here in Pigeon Forge. Now, the General Lee is a 1969 Dodge Charger driven by Bo and Luke Duke, kind of modern day Robin Hoods, so to speak. They rob from the rich to feed the poor of Hazzard County. There's some more license plate covers. There's one for the Boar's Nest, which was Daisy Duke's place of employment. Right when you walk in, they've got this newspaper dispenser in the colors of the General Lee. There's Bo and Luke Duke with Cooter. Plenty of Cooter's Garage hats and Hazzard County, along with the General Lee's #1. Here they got a bunch of fridge magnets. There's Cooter's tow truck. There's Boss Hogg's Cadillac Seville 1970. Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane's car, and there's Daisy's Jeep right here. They even have Cooter's Garage lunch pails here. I did have a Dukes of Hazzard lunch pail when I was a kid. This certainly brings back some memories. This caught my attention right away. A Hazzard County line sign made to look old and rusty with a bunch of bullet holes in it. Uncle Jesse's House Rules, played by the late great actor Denver Pyle. Some of the rules to live by when you are in his house. Here's a die cut of Boss Hogg's Cadillac DeVille with the trademark horns here on the front. This is cool here, a barn find replica of a rusted out 1969 Dodge Charger. This is what my Matchbox General Lee looked like when I was old enough to not play with toys anymore. They also sell Uncle Jesse's truck in Matchbox format, as well as Daisy's Jeep, Cooter's tow truck. There's another tow truck here, and a Hazzard County vehicle. They even have the Chickasaw County police officer car here. Here they got a die-cast replica of the General Lee. I'm pretty sure I owned something like this when I was a kid, but I think it was actually plastic. Here they got pictures of the cast up here. There were the main characters, Bo and Luke Duke, played by John Schneider and Tom Wopat. Cooter, Boss Hogg, Roscoe P. Coltrane and his dog Flash. And then the deputies, Enos and Cletus, in the back over there. Now, James Best, the actor that played Roscoe, I learned later in life that he was actually an artist, did a lot of different types of paintings, as well as being an actor. And Bo Duke is the role that I associate the most with John Schneider. However, I know he was in a Tyler Perry TV show recently. Remember, one of the storylines in the show was the love interest of Daisy Duke, Enos, Roscoe's deputy. Here's a poster advertising the show here with actors John Schneider, Catherine Bach, and Tom Wopat. However, John Schneider is wearing a blue shirt in this one instead of his trademark yellowish beige color, I guess you could say. Got a lot of other pictures of the cast here. There's Ben Jones, our Sorrel Book, who played Boss Hogg. Denver Pyle as Uncle Jesse again. John Schneider and Tom Wolpat, Bo and Luke Duke. A whole assortment of other pictures of the actors. Some of them cast photos, some of them meeting fans out in the public, such as this one of Sorrel Book. Here they have an assortment of Matchbox cars right here, and they also got one of these electric race sets. And then down here, spotted some more toys, Matchbox cars, more die-cast vehicles there in the back. Right next to Ben Jones and a jumping General Lee is a picture of the cast. Don't see Edith in this picture, just Cletus. However, everybody else seems to be in here from the main cast. Now, I don't believe I own that pillowcase, but I did own this Dukes of Hazzard sleeping bag down here. And I also own that Dukes of Hazzard garbage bin as well. Rusted away, unfortunately. Here they got on display some Dukes of Hazzard party hats, napkins, cups, whole assortment of things for any kid's birthday party. These are some action figures. There's one of Boss Hogg in the back there. Now that mini Boss Hogg, kind of with his hand sticking up there, I did own that action figure there, and I'm pretty sure I owned Bo and Luke Duke. Wish I'd have taken better care of my toys. Some model cars from the TV show. I didn't own the Dukes of Hazzard one, but I'm pretty sure I had Daisy's Jeep. I don't think I ever got around to putting it together though. There's a service station playhouse from the show. A couple other play sets, as well as a dashboard for the General Lee and a car that parents could put together for their kids. Found another item I owned, that TV tray right there with the cast on it. I also had these Dukes of Hazzard coloring books. I also got an assortment of other different types of puzzle books and things like that for the kids. Here's another racing set, but I also noticed this stunt set for the General Lee to take jumps. Dukes of Hazzard record player and an 8-track down here, which I'm assuming plays the theme song, performed by the one and only Waylon Jennings. There's a relic right there, Dukes of Hazzard video game from ColecoVision. Here's some information about the Duke boys and how they got in trouble. Moonshine runners, and they got busted for running moonshine, and Uncle Jesse negotiated their freedom by stating that he'll never brew moonshine again as long as the boys could be set free and put on probation. And as part of that probation, they weren't allowed to carry firearms, so that's why you see them with bow and arrows on the TV show. Another thing I learned from this sign is that Bo Duke, the reason you see him doing most of the driving is because he's a former stock car driver, while Luke joined the United States Marine Corps out of high school, then became a boxer before moving back to the farm. Here's a representation of a 1980s bedroom with all the Dukes of Hazzard merchandise a little kid could ever want. As I was noticing that very familiar TV tray, I saw a picture of John Schneider, Bo Duke. Right there's his mask sitting on the table. There's a representation of what a typical family room would look like in the 1980s. Gather around the TV on a Friday night to watch the Dukes of Hazzard on CBS. And the Dukes also in cartoon format, which I did not know. Some information about Daisy Duke, played by Catherine Bach. She knows all the songs of Dolly Parton. Roscoe P. Coltrane for Hazzard County Sheriff. And they have Daisy's Jeep here on display. And stay tuned, because I am going to go see the General Lee, which is on display inside this museum. And over here in this corner looks to be a replica of the boar's nest. Got a bunch of drinks here in the back. Pull up at the bar and grab yourself a alcoholic beverage. Do have a payphone here. Let's see if it works. No, it does not. One thing I do want to point out though, this one is so old school it has a rotary dial to it. It's another mask of Bo Duke right next to Boss Hogs here. Here's some more pictures of Ben Jones, some of his other roles, such as this one here as he appeared in Smokey and the Bandit. What I really like about this museum is that it's completely ignored that god-awful 2005 movie of the Dukes of Hazzard. Something that I actually sat through and watched, unfortunately. It's about 2 hours of my life I'll never get back. Now this museum is stuck with the TV show and the TV show only. I believe that is Ben Jones in his congressional picture. Here's some videos from the production of the show. Now the first season was filmed in and around Atlanta, but then the remainder of the series moved out to California and was filmed in a backlot. Pictures of the General Lees used in production of the show. I know they must have gone through several of them, considering that the car made jumps in pretty much every single episode. There's a whole trailer of General Lees and sheriff's vehicles of Hazzard County. Pictures of Denver Pyle. There's Uncle Jesse. And this must have been one of the last pictures taken of him, because pretty sure he was 77 when he passed away in 1997. Got the obituary to Sorrel Book, Boss Hog. I think he died in 1994 at the age of 64. And I was just about to mention that I haven't seen anything on Coy and Vance yet, and then I come around the corner and to my surprise, here it is. Here they are, Coy and Vance Duke with Cooter. I also have a picture here of the actor that played Vance. Looks like he sadly passed away in 2011. Now, Coy and Vance were actually fill-ins for Bo and Luke Duke because of a contract dispute that John Schneider and Tom Wopat were having with the studio. I believe it was during season 5. But once that contract dispute was settled, John Schneider and Tom Wopat were back inside the General Lee, and Coy and Vance were just a memory to the TV show and part of a really cool trivia. Here's another cast photo with Coy and Vance, and yes, it was indeed season 5, and they were on the show for 19 episodes before the contract dispute was finally settled with John Schneider and Tom Wopat. While waiting to see the General Lee, I noticed they had some Waylon Jennings items here. Sang the theme song to the Dukes of Hazzard. And here he is with Bo and Luke Duke. All right, getting inside the 1969 Charger. Oh. Wow, this is amazing. Actually sitting inside the General Lee. Helmet right there. Dashboard and steering wheel. Wow, this is awesome. So the lady that works here was telling me that this car was not used in the show. It was used as a promotional material to help drum up support for the show. She did say, though, that in the Dukes of Hazzard, they used 326 General Lees, and they completely totaled 309 of them. I'm not a bit surprised by any of that. We'll get to go around, check out the vehicle here. The one and only General Lee. This car was pure magic on the TV show, but in real life they destroyed over 300 of them because cars can't jump like they're portrayed in the show. One thing I do want to point out is that this door actually opens. On the TV show, the door didn't open because this was supposed to be a stock car. And in fact, when Coy and Vance were on season 5 during the contract dispute, it was written into the show that Bo and Luke Duke were off taking part in a NASCAR event, and that's how they explained their absence. Let's get one more look at this 1969 Dodge Charger here before we head out the door. Noticed a couple other display cases on my way out of here. Looks like Daisy's Jeep with some more model cars. And then I also saw this pedal bike here with General Lee colors on it. There's a Vote for Hog, his motor oil company, and shock absorbers. I also saw a prop here from the Boar's Nest, the Boom Boom Room. There's a call sheet used to determine who is going to be in what scenes for that particular episode. And looks like that is a plate from the Duke Farm. Some old scripts from the TV show, as well as a couple of covers from TV Guide, which are sadly no longer in print. And just as I'm ready to leave, I keep finding more cool stuff from the show. There's a candy holder from Boss Hogg's house. There's a piece from the original Boar's Nest wall in Covington, Georgia during season 1. I also saw the signature stamp of Ben Jones. And then here's another piece of the Boar's Nest from Covington, Georgia. And that was an actual moonshine jug prop that was also used in the TV show. And then also saw a CB radio here, which I'm assuming was used on the show as well. Now that was an amazing museum. I think I was in there for about an hour, and I probably could have spent probably the entire rest of the afternoon here, but I do need to get back to my family. We are on a family vacation after all. But that was a really cool trip down memory lane, just getting to see a lot of old memories from the TV show, The Dukes of Hazzard, my favorite show growing up as a kid, and something that I always just would never miss. Never missed an episode, always had to watch it. Really, really enjoyed that experience. So anyways, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like and subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate it. There's other ways you can help me out in growing the channel. I'll put links down in the description below. Hoping to get a couple more videos in this area. I've done quite a bit of Pigeon Forge already. Hoping to get to Gatlinburg and maybe do 1 or 2 videos there before heading home at the end of this week. So hope you'll tune into those. So anyways, this is Mike Allen from Chicagoland signing off from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. I'll be back next week with another video, but until then, don't you go changing.